Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Coreboy. We're back at it again today with a new video. And today is an early upload, so you know what that means. There's usually something that we're covering that's really big news. And if you can't tell by what I have popped up right here, it's the news of the announcement of Splitgate 2. Now, if y'all don't know, I'm a huge Splitgate fan. I loved the first game to absolute death, and I have been looking forward to having this game come out for a good long while now. So today what we're going to do, on top of playing some Halo and just talking about it in general, we're going to be sitting here looking through the whole like stuff they put out. So we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about a little bit what we've seen. I'm gonna play the trailer as well later, so if y'all want to watch that as well, you can. I'll be sitting here like kind of talking about some certain points in it and such. So one thing that they did add that seems kind of interesting is they have like a Splitgate app now. It's like a companion app, which is kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of what Destiny did when Destiny first announced. They had like a companion app where you could get like cards and shit, and you could read like lore tabs and stuff like that. And it's really cool. It seems like there's also ways to like earn rewards and shit actually in game. So for that, I am very excited. I think that's a really cool thing to have as like a little companion app, or even just like something you can pull up like on your browser or whatnot, and just have a way to kind of look through lore, earn stuff, and things like that. To me personally, it just makes it really cool. It seems like they're actually giving this game like a full on kind of like story to a degree. Um, and then let's just watch the trailer. We'll talk about it. That's what we're gonna do. This is so loud. I'm turning that down. I'm going to assume that's the main character. Also, is it not gonna? Okay, it won't let me go back. I do want to talk about something for a second. One thing that I love is how they have like an actual arena type map, which they did have those in Splitgate 1. One thing that made Splitgate really cool to me that was not like any other FPS that I've played is they had like an arena type system where whenever you would do certain things in the game, you'd hear like a crowd like chant and shit like that. I thought it was really cool. Especially in modes like teabag confirmed and stuff like that, which if you all don't know what that is, it's a mode where instead of being kill confirmed, you can pick up like a dog tag or something to confirm the kill. You kill somebody and then you have to teabag them to confirm that kill. It's really fucking fun and a very goofy spin on a mode that's been in games for a very long time. There's some new weapons. I'm here for that. Love a new weapon. Some new characters as well, which is really cool. I'm happy that we're getting like actual character development, it seems. Seems interesting. I'm all here for it. And I didn't mean to click that. But if y'all could see out there, there's like a ground pound type ability. Now, I will say this because some people were saying it and they've already made a tweet about it. The game is not a hero shooter. It's just you have different factions, and some of those factions have like unique abilities. And I hope they don't do it in a way of like most hero shooters where you have like different classes that can have like different health pools and stuff. Like if they do this right, this could actually work really well and make for a very interesting style of like arena arcade shooter. Which is one thing that I do think most people did want in Splitgate was more abilities, more ways to like counter different play styles, which I thought was really cool about Splitgate. Like the one thing that made that game awesome was, for example, a big thing in most shooters that you'll run into are people who like to sit in corners and hide. Well, one thing you can do in Splitgate is you could pop a portal behind somebody, pop one on your side, and then shoot through and hit them, and then kill them off of that. They couldn't just sit in one singular spot. They always had to be on the move somewhere. There was very few maps where you could just sit in one area. I forget what, so I think it's aquarium or some shit like that. I forget what the map's called. But there's like the two long hallways on both sides of the map, and like one thing that you could do is if you played really smart, you could shoot a portal on one of the doors or like on one of like the entrance ways, and you could shoot one on your side, and then as soon as they would spawn in, you could just see down their sight line. It just, if you had like a sniper or the carbine or battle rifle, you could just start taking shots through there and hitting everybody, or even the railgun. um, I hope with these abilities they don't take away from the core aspects that I like about Splitgate, which is one, the portal system. I think it's like the most unique thing about the game and the thing that actually makes Splitgate stand out as a title on its own. But let's get back into this. Of course, some new weapons, like I said, and I'm all here for it. Seems like they have more in-depth animations, and I like that a lot. Is that the carbine? Or is that like an SMG? I don't know. That right there is the ability that I am most excited for. is a drop portal that you can just throw down and you can shoot through it and shit. So you can like throw one down somewhere and then throw one somewhere else, and if somebody runs by it and you're looking, you can just shoot into it and get them. That's that's a peak ability. That's a good ability. That's one thing I when people were talking about the trailer, because I woke up and seen people talking about it, and then I watched it myself and was like, it doesn't seem like what people are making it out to be. I guess with abilities, people now do kind of form it into the hero shooter's perspective. I get it because they're so big now, and so many games are trying to like harp in on that. But I didn't think it would be done that way with Splitgate, because I think it takes away from the core elements that they were going for, especially because their audience is clearly people who are into arena and arcade shooters, games like Quake, Halo. I would say even like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where it's very fast paced, it's very on your feet, but not done in like a hero shooter like shooter sense where you have like tanks, supports, healers, and stuff like that, and like assault classes. It's been done in a way where it's like you kind of direct your own playstyle, and I feel like that's kind of what they're gonna go for with a lot of the abilities and shit. Is more directing your own playstyle and learning how to use those abilities to play onto people who are differing and maybe controlling maps. And that kind of interests me with like a lot of these abilities. Like there's the one dude who has like the ground pound. I don't know if that's gonna be like an instant kill or if it's gonna just like shove people out of objectives, for example. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was done in a way where if you hit somebody directly with it, it'll kill them. But if you, it may have like an AOE where if you're in that area, but you're on an objective, for example, it can just knock you out of it and allow them to capture it, which adds a lot of really cool counterplay, I think. With the like throwdown portal, that seems really interesting for like clearing areas. You could like throw one down, back out, and then maybe put down another, and then shoot through it and get all those people. It definitely does allow for different gameplay mechanics that I'm very excited for. I don't know what other kinds of equipment we'll be seeing. I know in Splitgate 1 we had just the portal grenades, which were basically just used to where I don't want your portal here, deny it. And I don't know if we're getting more than that, like maybe like grenades or some shit, maybe something of that nature. I'm not 100%. I don't think it shows in the trailer, but we'll see. Something like Promethean Vision from Halo 4. That's sick. See through walls. Whatever that is looks cool. That's interesting. It's almost like a bubble shield, but it has the opposite effect, like where if they run into it, you can shoot into them, like it'll stop them. Got a tracking rocket? Okay. Of course, showing portal play. If that's an actual weapon, that's sick as fuck. It's like a SMG that you can turn into a dual, like, handheld pistol, which is sick. Which is one thing I'm excited for. Dual wielding is sick. I wonder if it's like a burst AR or like carbine mix. Could be the battle. It's probably the battle rifle. Now I'm thinking about it, because the battle rifle was a huge weapon. But yeah, even right here you can see it. There's a dual wield weapon. It seems kind of cool. It's like you can put them on top of each other, and have like an AR, and then you can like disassemble them, and you can make them SMGs, which is fucking sick. I'm just super excited for this. There's a lot of cool shit. There's stuff to definitely be concerned about, but I think they're kind of clearing it up, like with saying, hey, this isn't a hero shooter. I feel like it's gonna be like more class based, kind of like how they did with Halo Reach or 4, for example, or even 5. I feel like it's gonna be kind of done like that, where you kind of have the ability to kind of choose and pick your playstyle and how you can kind of use maps to your advantage, or use abilities to map advantage, which I think is the right way to, like the right way to do it. Especially with seeing that one that's kind of like Promethean Vision from Halo 4. If you remember that ability, you could pop it, you would see where enemies are through walls. You can't like shoot through them or anything, but you could see where they are, and then you could like kind of track them through there. That seems really cool and very useful. I'm excited to see what we do. My only thing that I've been wanting to talk about when it comes to it is I don't want them to go the route of hero shooters. For example, if you guys don't know, I've complained a lot about XDefiant in the last couple of weeks at this point, and I hope they don't go that route, because that's been one thing for me that kind of killed that game. I'm not a fan of hero shooters. I never have been. I really don't like Overwatch at all. I don't enjoy games that fall into that kind of category where it's all class-based heroes. To me, not my kind of gameplay. It really kills gameplay for me. That's kind of my biggest complaint with games like, for example, Black Ops 4 when I used to play COD. Was it felt like they were trying to be a hero shooter and not just a traditional like COD experience, and I don't like when games fall into that. It's not my thing. If you like it, you like it. I don't. It brings no appeal to me. I've gave them shots. I've tried. It's just bland. To me, it just isn't fun. But now, let's hop over to Halo. Let's talk a little bit further into this, because there is a lot to dive into. and stuff that I'm personally very excited for when it comes to this game. Like, I have been waiting since they announced that they were working on a new title. It ended off on Splitgate 1. Um, to me, Splitgate is a very unique shooter that I think most people should give a shot if you like games like Halo or you like old school arena shooters like Quake. To me, it just kind of fills that void. To me personally, I don't even think it plays a lot like Quake. It does to a degree. The arena shooter it really reminds me of is Unreal Tournament, but I don't think as many people know about Unreal Tournament as they do Quake, because Quake was always kind of the big name, and Unreal was kind of always the smaller dog in that. But I'm a huge fan of both. I grew up playing both a lot as a kid. But it kind of reminds me of Unreal Tournament in a lot of ways. I doubt it'll have things that Unreal and Quake had, like the whole Gibbs system. Would be sick, but I don't think it's gonna have stuff like that. So if you're into like the whole like gore fest that is Quake and Unreal, it's not gonna have that. But I think one thing that separated Splitgate from those games was one, the health system played a lot like Halo. If you grew up playing Halo, I think you can pick up Splitgate and play it damn near perfectly. You will understand exactly how the shot system works. You'll understand just kind of a lot of how the game plays out. Um, of course, it feels like Halo also because of the gunplay in a lot of ways, but also that gameplay, that gunplay can be compared to games yet again like Unreal and Quake. But the big mix-up was always the whole like portal system. It was just really, really cool. It was unique. It was something that no games were doing, and it was even made more impressive by the fact that it was only made by two dudes who were in college together. It made it super like important. It made it very unique, and it added this element to it where it like completely forced people to change how they played. Now, Splitgate had a pretty large gap when it came to skill. Like you would, of course, start out like pretty average. You'd be like, okay, cool, I'm getting the role of this. But then when you started playing against harder players, you would start having to learn a little bit more. Which is to me what actually interested me in it was like, okay, cool. There's like good players, there's average, and then there's like these high tier players that really understand how to use every single element of their arsenal, and they know how to use every single weapon, and they made every weapon in that game feel really good, and kind of like under its own capabilities. For example, like the SMG, you really had to use like a submachine gun. It was, you were not using this thing at medium to long range. You were like having to get up into people's face to just spray them down with it, and it was hard to use. And then you had the pistol, which was very unique. It didn't do a lot of damage, but it could be used very effectively if you learned it. And then there was like the big weapons, of course. There was the assault rifle, which was very useful. The battle rifle, the carbine, sniper, railgun, and stuff like that. There's a lot about the game that is just very unique, and I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to like actually hop in and get some playtime on it, and to actually share my experience with it. Of course, I'll be doing content that covers it. I'm thinking about doing a Splitgate stream tonight. So if we do that, of course, you know, you'll be there. You all can stop by and say hi. Cool, we finally got a game. But I will say this, because I do think most people are probably going to be concerned, because I had people ask me whenever I started doing X-Defiant content when it first dropped, and I was having a lot of fun. People have, got concerned. Were like, "Are you leaving Halo content?" And no, I'm not. I'm not leaving Halo content behind whatsoever. It's not in the plans at the moment. Halo will always be my main form of content because I just simply fucking love Halo, and there's no like changing that or like expecting that to change. It's not gonna happen. It's not. I love a lot of games. I play probably one too many games, to be completely honest with y'all. But no, Halo content is not stopping. It is not going to stop anytime soon. The only time that y'all would ever hear me stopping Halo content is if they decided to stop making Halo, which is that's not a probable thing at all. I know you were coming that corner, buddy. Don't try it on me. Fuck, man. I just want to get the damn sniper. I will say, it's been nicer playing Halo recently because I've been getting a lot of different maps, and of course yesterday, if you all didn't stop by the stream, listen, I'm trying to do this fucking challenge. It's just been kind of hard to do. I'm trying to go for the most Kongs worldwide, and that's not an easy feat, mind you, because my idea was to go play Kong Slayer the entire time, and to really make it easy for myself, because you can usually get between like 20 to 25 a game. If it's a good game, of course, and you're actually like consistently getting Kongs, or you're like killing people with the actual fusion coil and not like the effect of the fusion coil. Issue is, apparently no one fucking plays Kong Slayer, so it's been kind of difficult. I wasn't able to get in really as many games as I wanted at all last night. I'm still going to try to. I still have to do my queues. It's just, it's either I stream and I get maybe a game an hour, or I throw in some other modes and just try to go for my hero grind at the same time. as well as, you know, trying to get all these fucking Kong medals that I want to get. You know, it's just the state of Halo right now. It's been an interesting one. But back onto Splitgate and everything, because I am just beyond fucking excited. I have, like I said, been waiting for a long damn time for this announcement, because I just simply fucking love the game, probably more than most other games that have came out in recent years. I personally just, I can't wait to have a new FPS to play that is set in one of my favorite styles, which is the more traditional, like arena shooter style. Because I don't know what I was trying to do there, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's more set like the traditional arena shooter style with a kind of a twist on it. To me, like, that was just like a huge part of my childhood. So I love games like that, and that's kind of how I feel with most FPS games. I feel like a lot of people develop their taste in games um, through like what they played as a kid. Like, it's just something that is a huge thing, I think, to most gamers, is you started playing something when you were a kid, and that's kind of what your like style and what you love the most kind of sticks through, is what you played as a young child. I've noticed that with a lot of, at least like my friends and such. A lot of us developed our taste for games at a pretty young age. From, yeah, you know, I have friends that are into more fucking like strategy games. I got friends that are super into FPS games. Now, of course, we've always had our games that we all have just collectively loved. Like, for example, a lot of us grew up playing COD together, or Halo together, or Gears together. But I don't know, Splitgate is just that game that kind of takes me back to a lot of those old styles that we really don't see games made in anymore. And I really do hope they stay on top of that. Of course, the game is going to be free to play, so that's going to be the biggest thing about it. Is with Splitgate, it's free to play. Of course, you're going to have your cosmetics and stuff to buy. And listen, when it comes to a free to play game that's made by a small team that I absolutely love to death, I don't care to spend money on it. Like, I genuinely don't. To me, spending money on games like that is just something that I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, will gladly spend money on this, because I actually really like your game and I want it to succeed. Which I think is something people do need to understand when it comes to a lot of smaller dev teams and small, just like, projects that people have put together. Is if you can spend some money, get something, because it does help out the team quite a bit. It's like it's good for them. Of course, now they do have a full team, but I definitely don't have the budget of like a AAA title and shit like that, or a quadruple A, whatever the fuck people are calling it now. I've seen some weird terminology thrown around that I just don't fucking know, that I'm just not used to. But I would say they're more of like a double A standard. Like, they have their fucking niche and they pull it off really well, which is one thing that I think that team has always been really good at, especially with Splitgate. They have just pulled off a lot of things that so many teams tend to like fault off on, especially when it comes to like aesthetic and gameplay and stuff like that. Like, it's kind of always been the highlight of Splitgate, is the gameplay and the aesthetic. The aesthetic of that game is just fucking cool. Of course, I do fall into a bit of a minority when it comes to games like that, because, for example, when it comes to skins and such, because it's such a bright and vibrant game, listen, I like a lot of the darker skins. I like stuff that's a little bit more rustic looking. I think it just looks really cool, so that's what I always end up buying. So I'm deeply sorry if you all hate shit that looks like that. Please put it in the game for me to buy, because I gladly will. I will spend, you know, $20-$30 on a cool looking little skin that may be a little bit ugly to some people, but if it looks like a weapon from Fallout or some shit, I'm probably gonna like it a lot. So you could always just do it for me. That's completely okay. But other than that, though, guys, I think this is where we're going to end off for today, because we had so fucking much to cover. I got some editing that I gotta do, and I'm just really excited for Splitgate. So, of course, want to know, what are you guys feeling down below? And do you all want to see a Splitgate stream tonight? Because I'm very tempted to go ahead and just start re-downloading the game, get some warm-ups on it as well, and just have some fun, because I just want to play some fucking Splitgate, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are heading back tonight to go revisit some old memories before the new game comes out. But other than that, though, I will catch you all later, and yeah, later, dudes.